All right, cookie lovers, listen up. Girl Scouts of America is celebrating National S'mores Day. In what other way but to announce a new cookie? Take a look at this. It is the s'mores cookie. There are 2 new varieties. The first one includes a crispy graham cookie. It's double dipped in cream, then dipped in chocolate. Hello. The other is a crunchy graham sandwich with chocolate and marshmallow filling on the inside. We gotta wait though, Darren Kramer. Those cookies don't debut until 2017.
I like the one on the right. You know why?
Because it has chocolate on it.
More chocolate.
I know.
Listen, more news coming up here, too. A police officer sees a burning car and jumps into action. We're going to tell you what he has to say about his heroic deeds next here on News 8 at 5:30.
And coming up tonight at 6, officials searching for a beaver that left swimmers in stitches. It attacked them. What one victim is now saying on Facebook. We have those stories and more tonight at 6.
Boy, a car on fire is scary, especially if it happens at a gas station like this one did in Savannah, Georgia.
And we've got a story of a hero cop that jumped into action. Take a look.
He said that was the damnedest thing I ever saw.
That was what witnesses told Chief David Lyons they saw yesterday afternoon. What Officer David Dess saw? Trouble.
We're taught to go in and make sure we make the scene safe, and that was my first reaction, was to make the scene safe.
The scene was a gas station where a car was on fire right next to the pumps.
There was civilians in the area. There was another vehicle that was parked right next to that could have also been involved in the fire.
So Dess pulled away from his traffic stop and stepped into action.
My gut just said get that car away from the pumps, so I pulled in. Pulled nose to nose with the vehicle that was on fire, just gave it a push. And as soon as I started pushing, it was all or nothing. It was get this car away from the pumps and hopefully I don't catch myself on fire in the process.
We're all there to, quote, protect and serve, but to how far? How far do you take that? Some more than others, and he just happened to be one of the ones that was willing to take it to the limit.
Garden City Chief David Lyons says Officer Dess pushed the limit and went over it for the good of the community.
Did he save lives? We'll never know. I can guarantee you he saved property. As big as that fire was, something is going to catch on fire, and he saved all of it. So, hero, yeah.
I would recommend that for those that are listening, try not to do this at home. It just wasn't about me. It was about making sure that those in the area were safe and making sure the citizens of Garden City were safe.
Ann Craig, News 8.
Live, News 8 at 6 starts now.
A confirmed tornado in North Haven today. Viewers sending us this video of a funnel cloud near 91 this afternoon. Storm Team 8 tracking this wild weather today.
And those storms uprooted trees, broken branches, and left neighborhoods just a mess tonight. We have live reports of that extensive damage.
And 2 people saying tonight they were attacked by a beaver, and they have some disturbing injuries to prove it. So a confirmed tornado in North Haven. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott McDonald.
And I'm Ann Craig in for Ann Nyberg tonight. That tornado ripped through a part of the state right around North Haven, basically destroying about a 2-mile stretch, and more storms are headed our way tonight. We're getting videos in through Reported. Take a look at this. There was some wild weather this afternoon, and our viewer sent this into us through Reported. You see that funnel cloud there? Well, that was taken in the area of Hamden.
Now, the damage from these storms pretty significant today in North Haven, specifically the Monterey section of the town, and that is where we find News 8's Jackie Slater. She's live now with a look, the toll it's taken on the ground and in that neighborhood there tonight. Hey, Jackie.
Scott, and some scary moments here in North Haven. This yard that I'm in right now seems to be pretty close to the starting point of this storm, and you can see there are multiple trees down the deck there, pretty much completely destroyed. And what seems to have happened is that the storm moved through this yard and then across the street. Now, witnesses say right around 1:30, it went from heavy rain to very strong winds in a matter of seconds. One man said he looked outside to see branches flying and trees falling over. His backyard, as he described it, completely destroyed with multiple large trees uprooted. The storm cutting a path of destruction through his yard. Amazingly, no major damage to homes in the neighborhood other than the decks. And fortunately, nobody here was hurt. We spoke to one woman who tells us what it was like when the storm kicked up.
All of a sudden, the wind just started to blow really, really loud, and then it went from breezy wind to sounding like a freight train. So I got really scared. I grabbed her, went in the other bedroom that my toddler was sleeping, grabbed her, and then we both, headed downstairs.
So a lot of damage here. A little while ago, Storm Team 8 meteorologist Sam Cantrell stopped by to take a look at the damage. I'm going to hand this over to him and let him tell you a little bit more about what we're seeing here. Sam?
Yeah, one of the interesting things about this is that we saw what looked like on a lot of videos that people were posting on Facebook, Twitter, things like that, what was a tornado. And the National Weather Service officially did confirm this as what we would call an EF0 tornado. So the smallest type of tornado, but you can still see behind me that there's obviously a lot of damage. But the one thing that I want to check out here, JP, if you look over in that direction, and also over here, the one big thing is notice the direction that everything is sort of falling over, okay? Everything over here, all fallen over sort of in this direction. Trees over here also fallen over in the same exact direction as well. And then if you swing around the opposite side over here, notice how it's fallen over, again, the same sort of direction. So what that means sometimes is straight line wind damage or a microburst. Now, regardless, it really makes no difference whether it's a microburst or a weak tornado. You can still see that there were things that fell over here and fell over there as well. So they did officially confirm it as an EF0 tornado, so the National Weather Service won't end up coming out here to actually survey the damage in this case. My feeling, though, even though we did see video that looked like it was probably a tornado, this was probably a microburst in North Haven. Also checked out some drone footage as well, and it was in the same direction. So that seems to be the case over here. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Sam. Good insight there. And damage can be seen all over North Haven neighborhoods, about a mile away from where we just saw Jackie and Sam. News 8's Renee Schmiel spoke with folks there about the devastation that took place in their backyard.
That storm pulled this tree all the way up by its roots. The tree then crashed down over here on this corn crib. Take a look at this video of the damage. The storm took down trees of all sizes, plus lots of branches. Crews came by a little while later to clean up the fallen trees, but despite all the damage, no one was hurt. Neighbors who were at home when the storm hit heard branches cracking, and they say the storm passed through quickly. It only lasted about a minute and a half. The woman whose tree fell onto the corn crib says her great uncle planted it, and it's about 100 years old. And she says the corn crib has been in her family for a long time.
I don't know whether or not it's possible to save the corn crib. It would be nice if we could. It's a pretty building, and it has a lot of memories. I'm just really grateful that nothing happened to the farmhouse.
The storm also took down some power lines nearby, so police are advising everybody to stay away from hard-hit areas like this. In North Haven, Renee Schmiel, News 8.
Well, now let's get you right over to meteorologist Kevin Arnone with the details of this small tornado. Kevin?
Yeah, the National Weather Service out of OKX has confirmed that it was an EF0 tornado around 1:30 p.m. this afternoon in North Haven. And the information on it, it was an EF0 tornado with 70-mile-an-hour winds. And the width of the storm, about 50 yards, so about half a football field. And it was on the ground for about 2.16 miles. And you can see here is the velocity scale from 135, about the time the tornado did touch down. And you can see the green winds is showing what the winds are going from the north to the south, and whatever's in the red is coming from the south to the north. So this is the tight rotation that we saw right into Montauk's area, and then it continued to go towards, let's say, eastern Connecticut over the next, let's say, half hour or so. But obviously it was only on the ground for about 2 miles, so certainly it was tough to get some videos, but there are some videos out there of it. Satellite radar view right now, you can see not much going on. Much of the rain has moved off to our south to our west, but there is some more rain to north in Connecticut along 84, parts of Hartford, Stores area. That's going to be the case for the next couple of hours. Some scattered storms, and where we did break out into some sunshine, you could see a couple more downpours as well, just north of Danbury going towards the Waterbury area. So we'll time out this coming up on the hour-by-hour forecast, and we have some more heat and humidity in the forecast. We'll have all that coming up. Guys, over to you.
All right, thank you, Kev. And the weakest possible tornado, but you still saw the destruction that took place. We're getting a lot of reported videos and pictures of the damage that happened in North Haven, like this right here. This was Governor's Lane. You can see the downed trees and the mess that folks out there have already begun to clean up. We heard chainsaws in one of the live shots that we went to earlier today. Giant tree here you see toppled over, really shows the power of the storm as it tore through that neighborhood. And remember, we love it when you send us your videos and pictures. If you can do so safely of the storm damage in your area, you can do so. Send that to reportit@WTNH.com or upload the Report It app.
A Killingly woman suffering major injuries from what looks to be a beaver attack. Kind of bizarre, right? It's a story we first told you about last night. There were 2 swimmers out there in the Quinnebog River, and they were bitten by this beaver. They were swimming there near the Pomfret and Killingly town line on Monday night. It was a 20-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman. Both of them wound up with deep gashes and stitches. News 8's Noel Gardner talked to officials about that rare beaver attack.
This is where the vicious beaver attack happened on the Quinnebog River near the Killingly-Pomfret line. DEEP officials are warning swimmers and boaters to stay away from the area.
It appeared to be one animal that, bit and injured two people.
Karen Greb and Garrett Bond were attacked Monday evening as they were standing in the river. Most of the pictures are too graphic to show. Greb didn't want to talk on camera, but says in this Facebook post, "Beavers do attack. I was swimming in the Quinnebog River, just standing there when something clamped down on my rib cage. I shoved my hand in its mouth to get it to release me and tore the ligament in my thumb." Her boyfriend Garrett Bond jumped in to help her, and that's when the beaver attacked Bond, latching onto his leg. Greb writes, "We did nothing to this beaver, but they do attack viciously. Just be careful. This is truly what nightmares are made of." The couple ended up in the hospital with serious injuries.
Both of them required multiple stitches, and we understand the woman who was attacked actually is going to need surgery on her hand.
Dennis Shane with DEEP says beaver attacks don't happen often, but they can be life-threatening.
Depending on where you got bitten and how prolonged an attack was, which is even rare to ever happen, the injuries could be serious.
As a precaution, the couple is undergoing treatment for rabies.
This attack was very unusual. Healthy beaver usually don't go after people, and beaver don't often get infected with rabies.
DEEP officials did encounter a beaver with aggressive behavior, but have been unable to capture the animal. Reporting in Pomfret, Noel Gardner, News 8.
Wow, it's just frightening, right?
Yeah.
So bizarre. Okay. Well, a medical marijuana dispensary opening up along the shoreline. Some saying it's necessary to help fight the opiate crisis. More on that still to come.
And big money could be coming to Connecticut to make the waters that border the entire southern part of our state cleaner. We'll explain. A first now for the University of Connecticut. They're going to be offering housing outside of their main campus and stores. The Board of Trustees approved a plan now to add student housing over at its satellite campus in Stamford. They're going to spend about $2.7 million to lease a 6-story hall that can then house nearly 300 students.
Millions of federal dollars may be heading our way to clean up the Long Island Sound. $10 million set to be given to local municipalities to clean out nitrogen in the water, build rain gardens, and to collect rain before it runs off onto our beaches and clean algae in the water. The Long Island Sound contributes $9.6 billion to our regional economy from fishing, ecotourism, and other businesses.
Well, use of medical marijuana is growing. We're going to tell you how many more patients started using that drug right here in our state. Kevin.
The forecast as we go through the night tonight, and there's more heat and humidity as well. We'll have all that coming up. Taking a live look right now in New London. We'll be right back.
Covering the shoreline now, more medical marijuana dispensaries opening up in Connecticut for a growing number of patients using the medicinal plant. Most recently, one opened up in Milford. It's just one of 2 that will eventually be up and running in communities there. News 8's Brian Spiros explains just how critical these dispensaries have become for so many patients.
Raj Patel is the manager of the latest medical marijuana dispensary to open in our state, Southern Connecticut Wellness and Healing in Milford. In just a week's time, Patel and his staff have seen 70 patients.
Of the stories that they're telling us, how much this medication's helped them, it gets them to do things that they weren't able to do on a daily basis.
Not far from that dispensary, another one scheduled to open this coming fall right along West River Street, but there's been a tremendous amount of pushback. A lot of people say they're not happy about the location because it's right near a residential area.
And to have those 2 in Milford, albeit not huge distance apart from one another, made sense to be able to have enough medicine on the streets, that alternative for good health care for people in the area.
Jonathan Harris is the Commissioner of Consumer Protection. He says the use of medical marijuana has grown significantly. In September 2014, there were roughly 1,600 patients using medical marijuana here in Connecticut. As of now, there are more than 12,000.
So the program is progressing, which is good, because it's providing another alternative for people suffering from a limited number but really serious debilitating conditions.
Which is why people like Patel are getting involved.
I was in a retail setting. Right now, retail setting is really hectic, chaotic, and this just gave me an opportunity to do something different with what with the degree that I have in pharmacy.
Commissioner Harris adds that the use of medical marijuana has proven beneficial in other ways.
People that were literally addicted to opioids or just using them too much have shifted to the medical marijuana as an alternative.
Reporting from Milford, Brian Spiros, News 8.
Turn now to a look at the weather. Okay, what's going on your screen? Well, take a look at the one on the left. That's a time lapse, if you couldn't guess, as that rain was just coming down so heavy today right here in New Haven. That was earlier this afternoon. And then on the right side that you see right now is a look now at New Haven.
Gotcha. Yeah, what a wild day. Kevin is here now, and you talked about how this tornado, which was confirmed, was the weakest possible tornado, yet we saw such massive destruction in some backyards.
Unbelievable with 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's incredible what the damage of just 70-mile-an-hour winds could do to some trees, and luckily no injuries, no fatalities. That's what we always want here in anywhere across the nation. You don't want anybody getting hurt, but we did see temperatures in today only in the 80s, a lot more humid than what we saw the past couple of days. So yesterday it touched 90, and it kind of feels the same way as we did today. You can see it's a little bit cooler in parts of southern Connecticut, and that's because it was raining a little bit earlier. 77 in Pawcatuck. You can see it's 81 in Shelton, where the sun was out just a few minutes ago, and you can see 82 in Berlin. We're going to see these temperatures on the mild side through the overnight hours. As we go through the rest of the evening, though, a few scattered storms. One or two towns, not going to be a widespread deal by any means, and certainly not as widespread as what we saw earlier. By 9 o'clock, you'll see those temps in the upper 70s, and we're only going to cool things off into the low 70s as we go through the night tonight. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, more clouds than sunshine. Certainly not a beach day by any means. And as we go right through the morning hours, temperatures in the upper 70s by 9 o'clock, and then we'll have to feature some more thunderstorms as we go towards the late evening hours tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Dew points right now across the state in the 70s. You can see getting into the upper 70s, especially in northern Connecticut. 76 in Hartford. This is just downright gross when you walk outside. Yesterday we were in the 50s. That's more refreshing. We're going to see these dew points on the higher side right through the rest of the day today into the weekend. You could see not a break by any means right through the weekend into next Tuesday is the only day we'll start to see the humidity start to lower. So a couple more days of this heat and humidity, and the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory. This is for Hartford, Talent, and Windham counties tomorrow right through around 8 p.m. But even elsewhere across the state and along the shoreline, we're still getting into the 90s tomorrow. You factor in the humidity, it's going to be feeling like over 100 at times. So limit your time outdoors tomorrow. Make sure you stay hydrated as well. Certainly not the best weather to be outside. Satellite and radar view right now, the more widespread rain has moved off, but we're still seeing some showers up and along 84, parts of Danbury, Waterbury area, getting into stores, as well as going into northern Connecticut. A lot of moisture, a lot of heat, a lot of humidity still on our way into parts of southwestern and moving up towards us over the next couple of days. So we are not out of it yet, and it's going to continue. Hour by hour forecast, you can see the hit or miss showers right through the evening hours, and this is going to go towards around 11 p.m. and then we'll finally see things dry out a little bit as we go through the overnight, and we'll start tomorrow with some clouds, and then as we go towards the afternoon into the evening, that's when we'll see more thunderstorms. A couple of these could pack a punch with a warning as well, so we'll be watching that here at Storm Team 8. Temperature in the 70s tonight, couple thunderstorms, south winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour tomorrow. It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. Your thermometer is going to read 90 to 95, but with the heat index, it's going to be feeling like over 100 at times with the thunder tomorrow afternoon into the evening. Your 8-day forecast features a lot of heat, especially along the shoreline. 91 on Friday, 94 on Saturday. That's the warmest day, actually I should say the hottest day in the 8-day forecast, and getting into the upper 90s away from the water. A few towns without a doubt could touch 100 degrees on Saturday without the humidity. You factor in the humidity, we're talking temperatures at 110 is certainly not out of the question. And then we'll watch for some more widespread rain Sunday evening into the overnight hours into Monday morning. And that's the rain that we do need to just knock out some of this deficit that we have.
Yeah, we got a little bit today, but we obviously
certainly not enough.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Let's get the very latest now from John Pearson with sports.
Live, this is Sports Edge, sponsored by your local Connecticut Chevy dealers.
The United States women's basketball team keeps on rolling. Today in Rio, Gino Auriemma and his ladies stayed unbeaten with a win over Serbia. Diana Taurasi led the Americans with 25 points. She hit an Olympic record 6 three-pointers. Team USA plays Kia Nurse in Canada Friday afternoon. Here's a look at the medal count as of right now. The United States leading the way with 28, 10 of those gold. China has 20 medals and Japan checks in at 17. Day 6 of UConn football camp. Huskies in pads for the second straight day. The season just around the corner. Took the show inside today. Huskies looking to avoid the heavy rain and try to keep some players healthy. Head coach Bob Diaco running around as usual. Likes what he sees so far in camp. Effort not an issue for his team.
They've been working their butts off, giving everything they can to the cause. Even today, it's muggy in here, and so it was taxing, and they're a little tired. Their legs are a little tired, but that's how camp should be.
I mean, it is a process, but we're doing something that we love. You know, we're coming out here day to day, and we're having fun. And like I said, we're playing a sport that we love, so it's a good time.
Huskies open the season 3 weeks from tomorrow at home against Maine. Time for a quick break. When we come back, what are the WNBA players doing during the Olympics? Well, today, they were lending a helping hand. Be back soon. The Connecticut Sun have a bit of free time. No games during the Olympics, and today the team spent some time helping kids in New Britain. The entire team took part in a kids camp at the Boys and Girls Club in New Britain. About 60 to 70 kids joined in. The Sun players making sure the kids stretched. They ran some shooting drills and showed them how to play defense. Good time was had by all.
Oh my gosh, this is a blast. We laugh so much when we come here. And yeah, we're laughing at the kids because they are so excited. They're so exuberant. They don't really know what they're doing with basketball, but they don't even care. They just want a good time. I was with a little bit of a younger group, so the technique really isn't quite there yet, but just so that they keep having fun and they know that basketball is supposed to be something that's enjoyable.
The Sun get back on the court August 26th against Minnesota once the Olympics are all done.
All right.
Good. All right, John, thanks.
Yeah, not every day you can say a tornado is confirmed in Connecticut.
Yeah, tornado confirmed in North Haven today. Nothing severe right now. We're seeing a few scattered downpours, though, and you can see that up along 84 in northern Connecticut, getting into the Danbury area as well towards Norwalk. This is going to be the case right through the evening. A few scattered downpours. Not expecting anything severe. We'll see more severe weather tomorrow, though, as temperatures get into the 90s tomorrow. Looks to be mild tonight with temps in the 70s.
And our crews are out there covering the damage from that tornado. Much more on that tonight.
I'll see you tonight at 10 and 11. Have a good night.